are going to review some options in our My Classes section on HMH. So remember that when you log in, you'll be taken to your dashboard. This is going to be our home page. And if your page is zoomed in, you're not going to see the options up at the top here. They're going to be over in this section in the top left-hand corner where those three lines are. So when you select that, or when you click on that, this is where you'll see all the options that I'll be showing up at the top, okay? So let me reset my screen. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at My Classes, and we're going to explore that a little bit. So when you go in for My Classes, obviously when the school year starts, we are going to make sure that you have your classes already pre-assigned, pre-made, and this is where you'll access them. So let's say you're in high school, you click on View Class, and you're going to see that it's always by subject because that's how we do high school classes. And so but for every class, no matter the grade, you will see these four options pop up on the left-hand side. So assignments, groups, students, and program settings. And so let me go to a younger grade and show you what that one will look like. So now if you are K through 5th grade, you're going to see a lot more subjects just because you teach all of the subjects in one class. So when we look at that one, what you want to do is you want to go into program settings, and you just want to make sure that you have the correct books assigned to you because, sometimes we mess up and we don't assign the correct one. So if you are a 3rd grade teacher or a 1st grade teacher and we accidentally assigned 5th grade math, just make sure you uncheck it and select the correct grade level that you need, okay? Other thing you want to make sure is checked off here, especially for kindergarten through 8th grade, is that Waggle Math. That's essentially just kind of like a fun, interactive game, I guess would be the best way to describe it, for our students to practice their math skills. And then you want to make sure you have the correct ELA book, science, social studies. And then for 5th grade, I know they have 3 listed, but for our state standards, we really only need United States beginnings through Civil War because that's what our state standards cover. But you also want to take a look at the core knowledge sheets. You'll be able to access those in the office. You can email Rachel for those as well, because there are some other standards that core knowledge goes into as well. And then whenever you change anything, just make sure you click Save and Update. Always remember, save and update. Do it a million times. If it's grayed out, that means you've made no changes. So now let's go ahead, let's take a look at assignments. So obviously it's just going to give you an assignments overview. What have you assigned to your students? And so right here you can see place value. So I labeled this assignment place value. What was the start date? What did I put as the due date? How many students have not started it? How many students are in progress? How many need to be graded? And how many have been completed? Now, for math, you're not going to really have to grade anything because it auto grades a majority of things for you. Now, if you have something with text input, so like an essay, it's going to say that it needs a grade and you have to give a response. So math will get a little bit easier. And then also for that due date and start date, I'm going to show you guys how to adjust those as well in a different video. So let's go ahead, let's keep on looking at our groups. So now, groups is where we can essentially create groups, like it says in the name. So so right here we have 5th grade. Obviously you have several different subjects. I created a math differentiation group, but let's say you wanted to make one for ELA as well. So let's say that you had really high kids in reading, but those same kids weren't high in math. And so now you have your description of your groups. And so from there, you can choose your students and put them into your groups. Now, whatever you want to classify group 1, group 2, group 3 is completely up to you. So let's say group 1 is a group that needs help with their sight words. Or maybe you want to go by their risk level based on Galileo or a risk assessment. So if they are low risk, that meaning that they don't need much help, they're probably a little higher performing than their classmates, Whatever you want to name your group is completely up to you. Let's say you have a group where they require modifications and they require completely different assignments or really shortened assignments. So I wouldn't label that group just in case anyone ever sees it as like IEP or special needs or anything like that. I would just put modified. And that's how I would label that group. Okay? So now if you want to add students into this group,
drag and drop student names to desired group. Select Save and Done when finished.
So now, will students be able to see the names of all the different groups? No. They're just going to see that they have something assigned to them in that particular group. And that is it for looking at our class functions.